But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed.
You never go to court. Okay, so what is the court? No, absolutely
Court
not.
is a paper.
Paper. Okay, because you got a tennis court, haven't you? All the kings have a court.
Cause of action.
Okay, so I went into the court venue, not the court, the venue, and put some paperwork in, and I went to put my seal on it. There's my seal there, okay. I went to put my seal on it, and the registrar grabbed my document. This is my court. Holy shit, it's the paper. It's the paper. The building is only a venue. In fact, if you're a Mason, you will know that it is a Masonic temple. The courts are Masonic temples. So anyway, now I'm going to backtrack back to the Administration Act, because when we were born, there were twins in the stomach, okay? There were twins. The Bible tells you these stories, okay? The eldest came first, followed by the younger. And what was the younger?
Placenta.
The placenta. Okay, so the placenta died at childbirth. The doctor declared it dead. Tells you in both years, the doctor must put a stethoscope on the umbilical cord to declare it dead. So now, the placenta did not leave a will. So it's under administration. That's why you need to know the Administration Act to know how they are administering that trust. They must raise money for that trust, but who do they get it from? For my trust, they get it from me. Okay, so what they do is they get commissioned officers. The public trust will give agents and commissioned officers the chance to make money for that trust. If they make money for the trust, then they get a commission. Now, if we defeat them with paperwork, whoever brought the charge against us, and notice always a charge. What's a charge? Apart from an electrical charge, it's money. Okay, that's why it's a charge. They tell you, they don't hide it. If you beat them with the paperwork, the person who brought the charge has to pay themselves. They have to get their checkbook out. That's why they'll keep coming for euros. Okay, they won't until they get it paid. If they don't, they have to pay themselves. That's why they get shitty. The Administration Act tells you how they administer the trust, plain and simple. The moment we invoke the Wills Act and do a codicil, now, if you have a look through your acts, and in fact Rose might do it for me, you can appoint a manager to do the stuff for you. Okay, so this is why I live and die by their acts, because their company tells you what their company policies and rules are. That's why I go there. Now, I'm not saying Romley or any of the others are wrong. They're doing a good job. They're waking people up. Yeah. I don't buy into argument and all that sort of bullshit. I just say what the good book says is that if you... Okay, so we went into our acts, and what do we put in, Rose?
We put in appointments plus managers.
Okay, so it's recognising plus.
No, you can't search for separate words in content.
Yeah.
You've got to put plus with no gaps, and it will bring those three words up. So the act that we're going to go to, can you open that one? Protection of personal and property rights. I'm just showing you what we're working on at the moment, okay? Now, if you go in there and search within the act, this really should be on here. Appointment of manager, section 31 of protection of personal and property rights. you may want to look at doing a codicil and appointing in a manager. Why would you want to do that? It tells you in this section here is, okay, that's really important, Barry. John 11, God, you're a bossy. I don't know, goodness me.
Get it right.
We've written to the Land Transport and saying, are you a private company? And they wrote back and said, no, we're a government department. So then we send them a copy of their ABN number and their registration. Well, could you explain this?
What did they say?
Well, I mean, we're just in the process of doing this because what we're doing is boxing them into a corner. And instead of going and saying, you're this and you're that, no, you don't. You ask them a question. It says in the legislation this, are you sworn to uphold that? Yes, we are. Great. So we got that bit out of them, that they are sworn to uphold the statute. So then you point out the statutes to say, hey, it says here that you're a private company, even though you've written back to us and said you weren't. And then we're saying to them, holding the manufacturer's certificate of compliance, does that mean you are the owner of the vehicle? They wrote back. We use Dun & Bradstreet to enforce fines because we said, are you on? It says that you're on Dun & Bradstreet, and we use Dun & Bradstreet to enforce fines. No, that's not the question we asked you. So you just box them into a corner with the statutes, with the evidence. You don't say, we want you to do this. You just point out the legislation to them. See, I don't pay tolls. So what I'm telling you, okay, so why are they administering our trust?
Because we've allowed them to. We haven't claimed a right.
We haven't made a will.
We haven't made a claim.
No. Listen to the wise woman.
So what was that? What did you say? Wise
We have
woman?
not made a will.
Yeah. Okay.
Totally different to making a claim, Neville. Okay. Okay, so you can point out certain facts.
We don't have a right to make a claim if there's no codicil.
Yeah. Okay, so unless you have a codicil or a will, then that trust will remain under administration. Okay, so under administration. Neville,
Okay.
listen.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It's under administration.
Yes.
What does Donald Trump say all the time? Under my administration. Tells you straight out.
Even here.
Yep, under my administration. Okay, so we're under the Administration Act, but we can invoke our rights. What was the first one I gave you where you can get all your rights from?
Bible.
You can get them there, but under their legislation, their private company.
All their acts.
Imperial Laws Application Act, Statutes of Westminster the first. Oh, it's like bloody pulling teeth around here, isn't it?
So we can rely on
You can use their statute because that's where your rights are enshrined, but you don't know how to. So I'm trying to show you now. If you want to protect yourself, you can appoint a manager. Okay, so now if you were to appoint a manager, and I've made it very clear what act the administration is taking place, who is administering that? Good man, I like this, Darren.
the public trust.
Public trust.
Why do you keep saying?
Are you an agent of the Crown? He says, yes. And she said, does that make me the principal? And the judge said, get out of my court. Who is the highest court?
We are.
You got that one right. Okay. We are the highest court. We do not go to their court and ask for orders of administration or anything like that. What we do is by agreement. Silent acquiescence. How do we get silent acquiescence and who do we go to? What were your given names? It'll be on your birth certificate.
Rose.
Rose. Just one name? Okay, Rose. Were by your parents?
I inherited by my parents.
No.
No.
The state gave us the surname. Okay? So when Rose talks to Kismet and says, "Excuse me, Kismet, is it okay if I do this?" Oh, silent acquiescence. Okay, so now you'll see in my letters that I put out that I always get agreement. How do I get agreement in my letters?
By acquiescence.
When you know what the role of each player is. So what is Kismet?
Trust.
It's a trust, purely and simply, isn't it?
Correct.
It's the deceased estate of your twin. And it tells you in the Bible that they were fighting for the birthright in the womb, don't they? You don't know your Bible? Okay, were they fighting for the twins fighting for the birthright? That's what it tells you in the book, doesn't it? They were fighting for the birthright. Okay, so when we were born, we were first. The placenta didn't come first. The placenta came later and stole the birthright by dying intestate, for which a trust was set up, and that trust is under administration. So the acts that you need to go to look for is the Wills Act and the Administration Act. The Administration Act tells you how it's administered. Then we go to these other acts to find where our remedies are. And so what I'm trying to show you is if you go in and look for one word or two words, in this case we went looking for three words, which was appointment of manager. So when you start looking for these things, and don't make stuff up, you've got to know what you're looking for, and you'll find everything in their acts. One of the other acts that, or a couple of the other acts that tie in, it should be Mercantile Law Act, type it in there. The Bills of Exchange Act is really, really important because everything is paper, which is why I explained to you. Not coming up? Okay, so now here's a good example. Okay, no, what I've asked you to type in the Mercantile Law Act here, and it's not coming up. So what we do, go up here. No, here. And you watch. You've got the Australian one. Good. We'll go to the Australian one, because this is where you're going to find this ties in with the Bills of Exchange Act, the Mercantile Law Act. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the Mercantile Law Act 1962. It should go back even further. It should be, if you could send that around to everyone and go through and find, you'll find where to break all the presumptions that they are in charge of you. They're only holding title, pledge or liens, yeah. Okay, now when you go to the Personal Properties Security Register and put a lien on the title, it stops them doing things. It doesn't give you title, but it stops them from doing things. Now, so this new company set itself up, and it was called Westland Property Services. It was the ex-mayor of on the West Coast, set up this company, got a couple of directors, and they set this company up, and they said, we're going to charge every person who's got a whitebait stand, we're going to charge them a rental of $2,000 a year to have these whitebait stands. Now, if you know what the common law thing is, that they cannot override a common usage or a common right. So, just remind me where I was. On this, okay, no, because I'm going to go off track here. Okay, so when I came through yesterday, I came through customs. What is customs? Don't you forget where I was.
Where you declare your rights.
It's customary rights. It's been shortened. It's the same as they say we have the power to do this. All they're saying is we have the power of attorney because you haven't taken away our power of attorney. When you come through customs, it's customary rights, and so you're supposed to declare your customary rights when you come through customs. Not a bottle of beer and some cigarettes and that. They just trick you with everything. I guess.